This week has been one of the craziest weeks in the world of AI in a long time, and I know I sound like a broken record, like I say that every week, but this week there was legitimately a ton of news coming from places like Anthropic, OpenAI, a whole bunch of image generators, a whole bunch of video generators, new robots, all sorts of really, really cool stuff. I don't want to waste your time. Let's just get straight into it. I'll do my best to sort of rapidly fly through all this news to make sure that you're fully looped in on all of the biggest events happening in the world of AI right now. Starting with the biggest news of the week, in my opinion, coming out of Anthropic's Claude. And this week, they gave us the ability to actually let Claude take over our computer and actually use tools on our computer. Now, I'm not going to go super deep into this because I did an entire breakdown as well as step-by-step tutorial on how to set this up yourself. So if you want to really deep dive, make sure you check out the video that looks like this. But here's a quick example they gave in one of their demo videos. They have this spreadsheet here, as well as this vendor form here. And they give it the prompt, please fill out the vendor request form for Ant Equipment Company using data from either the vendor spreadsheet or search portal tabs in window 1. List and verify each field as you complete the form in window 2. It takes screenshots of whatever's going on the desktop to sort of acclimate itself with where it's at and what's going on at the screen at any moment. And then based on the screenshot, it will take an action. You can see here it's searching the vendor database, found some info on their vendor database, and then automatically started pulling in data to this form on the right side. So again, what it's doing is you give it a command, it screenshots your desktop so it knows where to move the mouse or what step needs to be done. It does that step, screenshots your desktop again to confirm that that step was done and the right actions were happening, and also to figure out what the next step is. And it keeps on repeating that process of doing a task, taking a screenshot, doing a task, taking a screenshot, until it completes the action that you initially prompted it to take. Again, I did an entire breakdown with a step-by-step tutorial on how to set this up yourself, so make sure you check out that video if you haven't already. But that wasn't the only news that came out of Anthropic this week. There was also a new Claude 3.5 Sonnet model and a new Claude 3.5 Haiku model. We can see in the various benchmarks here that it outperforms the old versions of Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and in most cases, the new Sonnet even outperforms GPT-4o. But Anthropic wasn't done this week. They wanted to improve their platform even more, so they rolled out the analysis tool over in Claude. Here's an example they gave on their website. Please visualize the sales funnel progression from awareness to purchase with a bar graph so I can identify conversion bottlenecks. And they upload a CSV file of sales funnel data. It then creates some JavaScript to do the analysis as well as to create the visualization over here. If you have a Claude account already, in order to turn this feature on, simply come down to your name in the bottom corner, click on this little feature preview button here, and we can see the analysis tool is currently turned off. We can go ahead and flip that one on. We also have the latex rendering turned off, which allows Claude to render mathematical equations. Let's go ahead and turn that one on as well. And then we can close out of this, and we now have that functionality. I just created some dummy data over on this side called mockaroo.com. We could take a look. It is a CSV file here with a name, an email, a gender, and an IP address. So we'll just go ahead and use this data as a starting point so that we can do a quick test here. So I'll go to Claude, pull in our CSV file, and we'll tell it to analyze this data and create a pie chart based on gender. I'm hoping this uses the new JavaScript feature to do it, so let's go ahead and find out. Yep, so we can see it is now analyzing this data, writing some code for the analysis. Now that we have the data, I'll create the pie chart. So it is now writing code for our pie chart here. And once it's finished processing, we can see our graph here with 48.8% female, 42.4% male. Pretty cool. All I did was give it this one short prompt and this CSV file, and it processed it all for me and gave me a really nice looking visual. This is obviously just scratching the surface of what you could do with this new JavaScript analytics feature that's built in, but I wanted to do a quick test on video to see how it worked for myself. So as Anthropic inches closer and closer to having true AI agents that can do our work for us, Microsoft claims that they are now unlocking autonomous agent capabilities inside of Microsoft Copilot Studio. Now, this article here on Microsoft, there's kind of a lot of fluff in it, but if I scroll down here, we can see the new capabilities that are coming to Copilot Studio. Things like autonomous triggers. Agents can automatically respond to signals across your business and initiate tasks. They can be configured to react to events or triggers without human input that instead originate from various tools, systems, or databases, or even scheduled to run hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly. Each business process could have different paths since agents create dynamic plans on the fly to handle and complete tasks. Users can then view the underlying logic for each of the agent's paths, which include key details, steps, and systems involved. It's using the newest models like OpenAI's O1 model to help run the autonomous agent, and it looks like they're going to be actually demoing them during the Microsoft Ignite event that is coming up. Meta this week showed off a whole bunch of new AI research, including Segment Anything 2.1, Spirit LM, Layer Skip, Salsa, Lingua, Open Materials 2024, Mexma, and Self-Taught Evaluator. Now, I'm not going to get too into the weeds on each one of these, but I do want to hone in on this Spirit LM here. Spirit LM is a language model that can take both text and audio as input and give both text and audio back as output. So some of the examples that they show down here on their demo page is they give it a text prompt, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the language model responds with an audio prompt.
6, 7, 8, 9.
Or here, it starts with an audio prompt.
A, B, C, D, E.
And we can see that it gave back a text prompt, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, etc. They gave it a text prompt. The largest country in the world is
Russia. Our country has about 150 million inhabitants.
And here's another audio prompt.
Yellowstone National Park is an American national park located in the...
And you can see it went on to continue it in written text. They do say up here that these samples are cherry-picked samples. Not everything we see out of this model is going to be as good as what we're hearing and seeing right now. Now, these were from the Spirit LM base model, but they also have the Spirit LM Expressive model. So the prompt here, I am absolutely thrilled to be embarking on this new journey. It's going to be an incredible adventure, and
I'm so excited to have you guys welcome with me this year for 12 weeks. There's going to be tons of stuff, incredible guests on the show. But I also just wanted to go.
That's what we get back. I mean, the audio quality is kind of not very good, but you can hear it's got that same like fast-paced excitement energy to it. Here's some initial audio prompts.
No, I think you're thinking about Days of Thunder, which is a Tom Cruise racing movie.
And then it goes on to give a text response here. So that's some pretty interesting research out of Meta. I'm not 100% sure what the actual use case is for it, but really, I'm just trying to keep up with the latest research and what's going on, and I'm sure people in the comments will let me know plenty of ideas and ways that this new research could be used once it's actually available to us to use it. Meta also introduced their Quantized Llama models, which are much smaller models designed to run on mobile devices. Now, I'm going to really oversimplify this, but essentially what a quantized model is, it's kind of like compressing the model. It's sort of like taking this large model with tons of data and pulling out some of the data that it finds as less necessary to shrink down the overall size of the model. Now, that's sort of a bad example. One of the analogies I heard was, imagine you have a box of crayons, and it's a giant box of crayons, and there's 40 shades of blue in that box of crayons. Well, a quantized model would be taking just a percentage of those crayons and putting them in a new, smaller box, and now instead of maybe 40 colors of blue, you only have 10 colors of blue. Now, blue's still in there. You can still draw and get blue into the pictures that you color. You just don't have as wide of a variety of shades of blue in it, right? So that's kind of the analogy for quantization. You're removing a lot of sort of redundant data that ideally, without it being there, the language model can still kind of get to the same end result. Well, Llama just did that with some of their models in order to help them better run on smaller devices like mobile phones. Today's video is sponsored by Opus Clip. Now, if you're not familiar what Opus Clip is, it is this really amazing repurposing tool where you can take long form videos. It will find the clips that have the most potential to go viral and convert them into shorts with templates and text and captions and the whole works. They also just released this new Clip Anything feature, which allows it to find any specific moment from your videos to clip. It actually skims the whole video and uses AI to sort of tag all of the things that are going on in the video, and then all of those elements become searchable. So people, objects, actions, emotions, all of that sort of thing is now searchable inside of your videos, and you can have it generate a short form clip that has the potential to go viral. When it creates these little clips, it actually gives them each a score based on the hook, the flow, the value, and the trend. This top clip that it found here is 57 seconds long. It's a 99 out of 100, meaning that it's a clip that's very likely to do really, really well on places like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels. So check out how easy this is. Right here I can drop a Zoom link, a Twitch link, a LinkedIn link, a YouTube link, whatever I want, or I can upload the video directly. I'm gonna grab the link here from my latest YouTube video and copy it. We'll jump over to Opus clip, paste it right here. Down here, I can select the clip length. I'm gonna go 30 to 59 seconds. I like keeping them under a minute. We'll go ahead and let AI detect the style of content, and then we can give it any prompt we want. My video did include news about the latest SpaceX launch, so let's go ahead and use the prompt, find portions that include a rocket ship, and get clips. And after a few minutes of processing, we could see that it found a clip from my recent video where I showed off a rocket ship. So it found that rocket ship, put these subtitles on the video with like little finger arrows and stuff, and it says it has a pretty dang high score of doing well. Another thing that I think is really cool about what Opus Clip does is this was originally a horizontal video where I was off in the right corner of the video and I was showing something on my screen. Notice how it reframed it and put my head down on the bottom of the video, and then what I was showing on the screen at the top did all that reframing automatically. That is really cool and really handy. Check it out at opus.pro/clipanything, and I'll put the link in the description. Thank you so much to Opus Clip for sponsoring this video. IBM, who I am planning on making some more videos about in the near future, just released some new large language models called Granite 3. IBM said the new Granite models are designed as enterprise workhorses for tasks such as retrieval augmented generation, classification, summarization, agent training, entity extraction, and tool use. They can be trained with enterprise data to deliver the task-specific performance of much larger models at up to 60 times lower cost. So they really seem to be designing their models for internal enterprise, where you can train it specifically on your enterprise's data and get exactly what you need out of it a lot faster and cheaper than if you were using like Google's models. They also released this under the Apache license, meaning that others can use these models and build off them and iterate off of them. xAI, the creator of the Grok large language model, just launched an API, so now developers could go and use the Grok language model inside of their programs. So we could probably expect to see all of the tools that integrate with all the large language models to also now include Grok as one of them. And we can also probably expect to see some tools that are a little off the wall and uncensored, because Grok is pretty dang uncensored. We did get a little bit of news out of OpenAI this week. If you're a Plus user in the EU, Switzerland, Iceland, Norway, and Liechtenstein, they now all have access to the new advanced voice mode. But even bigger news out of OpenAI this week came from somebody who just left OpenAI. OpenAI's senior advisor for AGI, Miles Brundage, is leaving the company, and he wrote up a blog post as he was leaving, basically saying he doesn't think the world is ready for AGI. In his blog post, he also made the comment that he doesn't believe that what the research labs have access to is a whole heck of a lot better than what the general public has access to. So he's basically saying that we're seeing the best that OpenAI has available right now. And yes, maybe they're keeping some other models under wraps, but the gap between what we have now and what they're keeping under wraps is not that big of a gap. Okay, let's talk about AI video, because there's been a lot of announcements in this space this week, starting with the Runway's announcement of Act-One. Now, this is something we don't have access to, but they do claim they're rolling out right now. I've been refreshing my Runway account like crazy to see if I have access. I still don't have it, so it's definitely not fully rolled out yet. But basically what this Act-One can do is it can take the facial expressions, the emotions, and the words that are coming out of your mouth and sync it up with an animated character. So check out this little 20-second demo here.
So let me get this straight. You came all the way down to the Department of Motor Vehicles and didn't bring your driver's license? Do I understand that correctly?
And here's some more demos that I'm actually playing on mute because there's music and I don't know the copyright status of the music, but we can actually see that these are just cartoon characters, that the lips are synced, the emotions are synced. So as they move their head, as they show excitement, as they show anger or fear or sadness or whatever emotion, that expression comes across on the cartoon character and the lips are synced to the person talking. This is really, really cool. Now, Runway's Act-One page, which I will link up in the description, has all sorts of demos of what this is capable of. So you can take a peek at some of these other examples here and see what it's capable of. But hopefully, fingers crossed, we have it in our hands pretty soon and we'll get to play with it and make our own videos from it. Moving on to video generators we do have access to right now. Let's talk about Genmo and Mochi One. Now, Mochi One is another open source video generator. Since it's open source, if you have a strong enough GPU on your computer, you can actually download the files and run this locally. Also, since it's open source, people are going to tweak with it and iterate off of it and mess with it, and we're probably going to see some pretty uncensored video models in the near future. Whether that's good or bad or not, that's yet to be determined, but we're probably going to see some pretty uncensored stuff as more and more of these open source video models become available. Now, if you do want to play with this Mochi One yourself, you can. The site fall.ai has it available. This is the same site that I showed in previous demonstrations on how to set up Flux One. Now, there is a slight cost, so I have some credits here in my fall.ai account. But if we go to explore, we can click on text to video here, and we can see Mochi One is one of the options here. Once inside, we have the option to enter a prompt, give it a random seed, and enable prompt expansion, which I'm guessing just sort of improves whatever prompt you plug in. I did my normal test of a wolf howling at the moon, and this was the video that it generated. It kind of looks like a wolf sort of merging and then walking towards the camera. It's not bad, but I wouldn't put it at the same level of quality that we've seen from some of the other video generators yet. It was really, really fast though. I believe it took under a minute to generate this, and we can see that it cost 40 cents per video. So this little clip here, because I ran it on fall.ai and it's using their servers, they charged me 40 cents here. I went and tested it with my other favorite prompt, a monkey on roller skates. Once again, cost me 40 cents to generate this, but here's our end result. We definitely see a monkey. We can definitely see roller skates, whether that's a monkey on roller skates or a monkey sort of playing with a roller skate. Yeah, I don't know. But that's what it can generate. Next up, we have Haiper 2.0. This is another AI video generation model. We can see their demo here over on their X account. And I mean, most likely these are going to be cherry-picked videos. If you're making a sort of demo reel or a commercial for what your video player is capable of, probably going to cherry-pick some of the best results. But these are some of the videos that have come out of Haiper, Haiper. They all look pretty good, but again, probably pretty cherry-picked. You can actually go and generate videos with this one for free right now. If you head on over to Haiper.ai, again, that's Haiper.ai, they give you 300 credits when you first start. Now, I don't believe that refreshes every month or every day or anything like that. I think you just get 300 credits to go and play with the video model. Once your 300 credits are up, you either can't use it anymore or you got to buy more credits. But to generate a video, it costs roughly 30 credits, so you can get about 10 videos as you play with this. Before I show you some of my results, here's some of the demos that they have on their front page here of people doing various dances. They all look pretty decent. Not the best AI video we've ever seen, but they seem to be pretty good for generating these little like dance videos here. Here's some like cartoons that it generated: a cat in a bathrobe, a cat carrying a suitcase. We've got like a flying tiger dragon thing, a cat with a saxophone. I mean, they're pretty good looking. I'm pretty impressed with what this can do. But again, fairly on par with most of the other video models we've seen so far. They do have both text to video and image to video in Haiper here. And here's what I managed to generate. I did my wolf howling at the moon prompt here. And when I blow this one up, you can see this one looks a little bit more like an animation of a wolf howling at the moon than the last one that I got out of Mochi. The moon's moving a little bit more than I would like it to, but other than that, the wolf looks pretty good. I asked it to generate a monkey on roller skates for me, and you know, to be honest, this is one of the better videos of a monkey on roller skates that I've gotten. Now, you can't actually see the skates, but you can tell the people around him are skating, and he's got something strapped to his feet. I think you can tell it's a monkey roller skating. I don't know what this weird artifact is that appears and disappears over on the left. That's kind of funky. not bad at all, honestly. All right, if you thought a lot was happening in the world of AI video this week, wait till you see all the stuff that happened in the world of AI image generation this week, because that area is even crazier. Let's start with the fact that we got Stable Diffusion 3.5. Ever since Black Forest Labs came out with Flux, Stability AI has been kind of quiet. We haven't really seen a whole lot come out of them. We did get that previous model of Stable Diffusion, which sort of went viral for all the wrong reasons. It was generating bodies that were just like legs, a torso, and then legs, or like 3 heads, or they were just sort of like this nightmare fuel. It looks like they've sorted some of that out, because this image right here, I think, is showing that you can get it to prompt a woman lying in the grass, which before it absolutely could not. And Stable Diffusion is open source. It says it's free for both commercial and non-commercial use, and you can run it on consumer hardware. So you could download Stable Diffusion 3.5 and run it on your own computer using something like Comfy UI or possibly Automatic 1111. There were 2 models that were just released with Stable Diffusion 3.5 Large with 8 billion parameters, and Stable Diffusion 3.5 Large Turbo, which is a distilled version of Stable Diffusion 3.5, which is considerably faster than the large model. But since this large model generates images at a 1 megapixel resolution, you're definitely going to get better quality out of the large model than the Turbo. So you kind of choose between high quality or fast, and even the fast model should supposedly be still pretty decent. Now, if you want to play with this, you can actually play with it for free right now over on Hugging Face. There is a Hugging Face space for both Stable Diffusion 3.5 Large and 3.5 Large Turbo. You can see here we've got an image of a capybara wearing a suit, holding a sign that reads "Hello World." And as far as prompt adherence goes, it nailed all of those things. Let me try one of my long prompts that I've tested in the past and see how many of the elements it actually gets. My old go-to of a 3-headed dragon wearing cowboy boots, watching TV, and eating nachos. Let's see how this does. Okay, so it took about 40 seconds here. We've got the dragon. I'd say that's only a 1-headed dragon. They maybe gave it 3 legs instead of 3 heads. But we've got the dragon, the nachos, the boots, and the TV. So it got most of it. It missed the 3-headed dragon part and gave it 3 legs instead. But not bad. Better than it used to do. Let's do a penguin in the snow holding a sign that says "Subscribe to Matt Wolfe." See how it does with the text. All right, not bad. It got all the text in there. Let's see, did it spell everything right? Yeah, it looks like it even spelled everything right. So pretty good. Now, again, you can download Stable Diffusion 3.5 and run it on your computer. Just go to github.com/stabilityai SD 3.5 here, and you've got your options to download with your install instructions, and you should be good to go. It also works with Comfy UI, it looks like. So if you know how to use Comfy UI, you can use SD 3.5 with that. Ideogram also rolled out some new features this week as well, including their Canvas, their Magic Fill, and their Extend features. So if I log into my Ideogram account here, over on the left, you can see a new icon that says Canvas. If I click into Canvas, we have a whole new UI here. So let's go ahead and prompt an image, a wolf howling at the moon. I'm going to turn Magic Prompt on. That's going to help improve the prompt. It'll add a little extra detail to the prompt to make it look even better. Let's go ahead and generate that. And there we go. We got 4 images of a wolf howling at the moon. I've got this giant canvas here where I can scroll up or down and move around. And if I hold down Control and scroll in, I can zoom way in on these images or zoom way out on them, just like something you'd get out of, like a Figma or something like that. But let's say I like this one here. Let's go ahead and pull it out of the rest of the group here, bring it down on our canvas a little bit more. But let's go ahead and extend it. Let's click the extend button here on the left, and let's extend it down this way like so. I can move and change however I want it extended, but I think I want it to go about there. I'm going to turn the magic prompt off at this point so that it uses this image for more of the reference, and I'll leave my same prompt of a wolf howling at the moon and click extend. And after a few seconds, we've got our extended image here. You can see it filled in the rest of the wolf and more of the ground here. But you know what? I think I want like a UFO in space. So let's go ahead and select the magic fill here, and I can select areas using this like rectangle, or I can use like a brush like this, or a lasso tool like this. I'm gonna go ahead and reset all of that, but let's go ahead and use our lasso tool and put a big circle here. We'll click next, and let's go ahead and give it a prompt, an alien spaceship. Click magic fill, and just like if we were using Photoshop's generative fill, we now have a spaceship flying by in the background. I'm gonna do magic fill one more time. I'm gonna use the rectangle, And this time I'm going to hover over the wolf's feet, and I'm going to try a prompt like give the wolf cowboy boots, and let's see if it does it. Okay, so it gave it on the front feet. Not bad, not bad. If I zoom out a little bit, right, so we can see more of our canvas here, here's our wolf image that we just generated. If I grab this and move it out of the way, you can see each iteration. So here's our original wolf here. Here's our wolf that we extended. Here's our wolf that we added our UFO. And here's our wolf where we added cowboy boots. So I could actually see each bit of progress. And that's what's really cool about this canvas, is that we can just keep on experimenting with ideas. Let's say I don't like this version of the cowboy boots. I can always go back to this image and edit from this image while ignoring this one. There's also a remix feature. If I click on remix here, and let's say in astronaut on the moon and click remix, we get an image that looks very close to the same style as our wolf image, very similar colors, very similar moon, but now we've got an astronaut standing on the moon with somehow the moon in the background. But you get the idea. It matches the same style from our original image. So some pretty cool new features out of Ideogram. But I'm not done yet. We also had Midjourney. This week, Midjourney says we're testing 2 new features today, our image editor for uploaded images and an image retexturing for exploring materials, surfacing, and lighting. Kind of similar features to what we got out of Ideogram this week. But one cool thing about what we can do with Midjourney that we've never been able to do before is actually use our own uploaded images. So if I come over here to edit in the left sidebar, I can upload an image or edit from a URL. I'll click on edit uploaded image, and I'll just pick an image of myself here. So I've got this image. Let's go ahead and mask out my head, and let's give it the prompt, wearing a baseball cap, and then click submit edit. And now I got 4 images that look like I'm wearing a baseball cap. Let's go ahead and select a big chunk over here. And I'm going to put a fire-breathing dragon. And there we go. I got a dragon that's more made out of fire than actually breathing fire. But it's pretty cool that Midjourney lets you upload your own images and then put Midjourney-generated assets inside of the image. I'm going to try one more thing that I saw in their demo here. I'm going to make my brush huge and just like get rid of almost everything except for my head. So now my head is just floating there, and I'm going to give it the prompt, a man holding a self-portrait. And let's see if it can figure out what to do with that. All right, there's one variation. Give me a different outfit here. Here's another variation, and another variation, and another variation. Not bad. I mean, the self-portraits I don't really feel like look like me, but I'm actually pretty impressed with some of these images. They also added this new retexture feature. This is sort of like control nets, if you've ever used control nets on Stable Diffusion, where it will maintain the same structure of the image, but give it like a whole new style. So let's start with this one of me holding up my self-portrait and give it the prompt, a colorful psychedelic world, and submit retexture. And just like that, it restyled this image to this image and this image and this image and this image. I think I like this one and this one the best. But you can see that it followed the same structure as the original image. It just put a whole new style over the top. Canva got some new AI image generation in it this week as well. And it actually uses the new Leonardo AI Phoenix model. Now, full disclosure, I am an advisor for Leonardo, so just keep that in mind. But I tend to talk about both the good and the bad with all the companies I talk about, advisor or not. But let's go ahead and jump into Canva here. And when you're logged into Canva, you can see there's a new button here called Dream Lab. If I click on Dream Lab, I can give it a prompt. Let's go with my old standby. I can either leave it on smart and let it figure it out for itself, but there's also cinematic, creative, macro, illustration, fashion, etc. I'm going to go with cinematic. I've always liked the way cinematic looks when you're using the Leonardo tool. Let's go ahead and click create. And I've got 4 images of a wolf howling at the moon, and they all look pretty dang good. This is actually news from last week, but I forgot to mention it, and since I'm talking about AI tools, I figured I'd mention it this week. Playground AI released Playground V3, and it's a new model that's focused on graphic design. So it seems like Playground is sort of going in a different direction from a lot of the other AI generators and sort of niching down more for those graphic designers. If we jump over to Playground here, we can see all the various categories they have, but you'll notice that the main ones towards the top are logo, t-shirt, social media posts, stickers, things like that lean a little bit more towards graphic designers than just generating any random piece of art. Let's go ahead and do a logo, pick a template that we'd like. I'll go ahead and use this one that says fish on it here. And let's say change text to wolf and incorporate an image of a wolf. Click create. Let's see what it does. And there you go. It created an image that has the word text, and in the O, there's a little wolf head. So pretty cool. And in the final bit of image news, OpenAI showed off some new research with their consistency model, which looks like it does pretty much the same thing as a diffusion model, just way faster, right? Like this did the image generation in 6.23 seconds. This one did it in milliseconds. We could see some of the like really realistic images that were generated using this new research, but this is also something that we do not have access to yet, so we can't actually play around with these models yet. I don't know if this is going to eventually be part of DALL-E 3, or if this is just going to be a whole new image generation model from OpenAI. But I mean, they're pretty realistic. All right, let's talk about AI audio news. This week, ElevenLabs introduced voice design, which is the ability to create voices by giving it a text prompt. Like here's an example of a large Yeti with a deep rumbling voice. That was the prompt they gave it, and this is what it sounds like.
I have guarded these sacred peaks since before your ancestors first dreamed of climbing them.
If you want to generate your own voices, you can head on over to ElevenLabs, click on Voices in the top left, click on Add New Voice, and we now have the option to do a voice design an entirely new voice from a text prompt. We can select that, give it a random prompt. I just clicked the randomize button here, and it suggested a prompt of a sassy little squeaky mouse. It also gave me a little bit of a text to preview it with, and let's see what it does.
I may be small, but my attitude is anything but. Watch it, Big Feet, or I'll give your toes a nibble you won't forget.
So it generated that voice, as well as two variations.
I may be small, but my attitude is anything but. Watch it, Big Feet, or I'll give your toes a nibble you won't forget.
I may be small, but my attitude is anything but. Watch it, Big Feet, or I'll give your toes a nibble you won't forget.
So it's a pretty cool new feature in ElevenLabs there. Grammy-winning producer Timbaland is now working with Suno to generate music, collaborating with a real human and what Suno can do. Most entertainers are fighting against AI, so I love seeing actual musicians with credibility embracing these tools and helping spread the word of how they can actually help people creatively. So I love seeing news stories like this. All right, a few more things that I'm just going to kind of blow through really quick. Google DeepMind this week is open sourcing SynthID, which is a text watermarking tool. So theoretically, any text that was generated with one of Google's models, this SynthID should be able to detect it through some sort of text watermarking. And it looks like it's going to work across all modalities. So image, text, audio, video, all of the things. Apple Intelligence has started rolling out onto iPhones. My iPhone is too old for it to work with, but if you have one of the newer iPhones and you have iOS 18.1, you have some Apple Intelligence features already. And the new 18.2 has even more Apple Intelligence features like Genmoji, the ability to create AI-generated emojis, visual intelligence, meaning it can actually see what's going on your screen, and also ChatGPT functionality. These are all rolling out in this new 18.2 version, and some people are already starting to get access to it if you're on the developer beta. Perplexity launched a Mac app this week. Now, I'm not currently on a Mac, so I can't really demo it, but it basically gives you a shortcut on your keyboard to quickly open up a box, ask a question, and it will send the question directly to Perplexity. So just a really quick, easy shortcut to get to Perplexity. Hopefully they'll be rolling out a Windows version as well, but this new app that they're showing off is specifically for Mac right now. Qualcomm's Snapdragon Summit was this week out in Hawaii, and they announced the new Snapdragon 8 Elite chips. These Snapdragon chips are mostly designed for mobile devices, like Android devices, laptops, tablets, things like that. And they're getting better and better, faster and faster, more and more efficient, making it so more and more newer devices can more capably run AI on them. Asana this week launched a no-code tool for designing AI agents. I'm not a big user of Asana, but here's the screenshot they have. Creative request triage. We can see that it's automating this task here, which says confirm that requirements are met. If they are not met, ask for more details. And this Asana AI sent a message to one of the users saying, before I route this request to a designer, can you please clarify who's the target audience for this asset? So basically, I guess you add these tasks in Asana and it knows what prerequisites are necessary for the task. And if the prerequisites aren't met, then it will ask for more information. And I don't know, I have not used this yet myself, but if you are a user of Asana, that's something new that you could go into Asana and play around with. And finally, I wanted to end with this because this is really cool, but also really creepy. This is like a upper torso of a humanoid robot, and it's using like simulated muscles to actually do all of that movement that you're seeing there. They describe it as a bimanual android actuated with artificial muscles. The first bimanual torso created at Clone includes an actuated elbow, cervical spine, and anthropomorphic shoulders with the sternoclavicular, acromyoclavicular, scapularis, and glenohumeral joints. Yeah, those. The valve matrix fits compactly inside the rib cage, and bimanual manipulation training is in progress. Honestly, I just wanted to show this off because I thought it looked really cool and also really creepy. It looks like the robots from Westworld to me. And this is one step closer to that actual reality. I wonder if the people who are making this saw how that show ended. Anyway, that's what I got for you today. Huge week in the world of AI. So much happened, especially in the like creative world of AI, video, images, audio, that sort of stuff. Plus tons of news around more autonomous agents and actually getting AI to just sort of do the work for you. Really fun stuff, really exciting stuff. Things are really picking up steam, a lot of momentum coming out of these companies, and I'm here for it. If you want to stay looped in on all of the coolest AI tools and all the latest AI news, make sure you check out futuretools.io. This is where I share all the cool tools I come across. I keep the AI news page up to date, even with news that doesn't make these videos. Even though these videos are long, I still cut stuff out. And there's a free newsletter where I'll send you just the coolest tools and most important news directly to your inbox. Also, if you subscribe, I'll send you free access to the AI income database, a bunch of ways that I've rounded up to actually make money with these various AI tools. So check that out. It's all free over at futuretools.io. And if you like videos like this, you want to stay in the loop with all the latest AI news, you want tutorials on how to use all of these cool AI tools, and you want to be the most in the know person in your circle around what's going on with AI and tech, make sure you like this video and you subscribe to this channel. That will ensure that more videos like this show up for you. I really appreciate you hanging out, nerding out with me. Thank you so much to Opus Clip for sponsoring this video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.